All right, there we go. All right, fellas, you know how we do this thing. The NBA champs are none other than the Denver Nuggets. Do you think that the Nuggets can repeat next year? And who do you think is the biggest threat to dethrone the Nuggets?
I think they can repeat as long as they keep this core intact. I don't see no issues with them repeating. At this stage right now, I don't know anybody out the West that I see that could really take them down. At this stage, I know it's about to be a lot of trades and a lot of things like that going on. So we kind of have to see after that. But as of right now, I don't see anybody in the West that can really handle them position, even coming off the bench. And you got to think they're getting better. They're getting another year under the belt. They had a couple of rookies that played pretty good. And, they're going to pick up some free agents. They're going to make their team a little bit better. Right now, they're still a solid team. And I don't see any threat to them in the East or West really right now until a lot of people make some changes, because at this stage in the game, and they're not playing traditional basketball we've seen the last 10 years of three-point shooting. You know what I'm saying? Right. They're doing the inside-out game, big man running, like old school basketball. They're not jacking up a lot of threes. I'm not saying they're not shooting them, but they're not shooting at a rapid pace like every other team is. So it's changed the game a little bit. So I don't know if you're going to have to start building your team to play like them now, or you're going to have to keep it the same way they've been playing for the last 10 years.
Interesting perspective, man. Man, I've got my words for you. But so, interesting perspective. But I agree with everything you said so far, with the exception, because we can't figure it out until the trades happen. But the only exception to the rule for me, I feel like Milwaukee matches up well with them, as well as Boston in the East. But in the West, nobody can deal with them. I don't think, they stand a chance. But Milwaukee has to have a healthy team to compete with them. Otherwise, and I don't, and the only asterisk for Milwaukee for me is Chris Middleton hasn't been the same since, he's been injured.
I agree.
In Boston, man, like they're young, but Boston could arguably say they got one of the most talented rosters in the league. They got pretty much everything, covered. But Joker.
Not at the center.
Well, so for me, I don't think they need scoring. They played well with Robert Williams when he was protecting the basket, but they kept taking him out of the game, which makes no sense to me. But the games they won against Miami was because he protected the middle. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they need scoring. They got enough of that from Jaylen Brown as well as Tatum. But if they get, Coach Rice, I think they can match up with Denver, and they would be the only team that can give them a run for their money is Boston and Milwaukee. Everybody else they're gonna run through.
Look, I'm gonna have to see. I see what Dunn was talking about Brown. Now that left is terrible. They're not gonna win with him with that left. Is not gonna happen.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that too. So I seen something. They say he injured his hand or something, and he don't have any feeling. Have you heard that, Dunn?
I think because it happened I don't know if it happened I think it happened right before the playoffs or during the playoffs where he had, but this wasn't this been going on for some years now. This ain't new. You know what I'm saying? That injury. I mean, I don't know about the injury in regards to him being able to go left. I'm saying he can't go left for whatever reason. Every time he goes left, he loses the ball or he turns the ball over. I don't understand it. I don't know how can I afford to pay this man that kind of money if he can't go left. To me, that's something you learned back in grade school. And so the issue I had with you, Rome, as far as the Milwaukee Bucks go, if Middleton is gone, that's 20-something points a game. That's a huge impact on the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's why I don't think Milwaukee, if they can't afford to lose Chris Middleton, because if they do, they're going to be in some serious trouble, because that's 20 points a game that you got to make up for. Then you're going to expect Giannis to score more points? I think he's doing more than – honestly, I think Giannis is doing more than enough for that team.
So I agree with you. I was speaking on a perspective from now because we don't know how it's going to fluctuate and change. What if Denver paying their free agents? So I guess I was just speaking on it as of today because Sean kind of hit on it. He's for the now. As of
Right.
right now, teams are how they are. I feel and I'm talking on health. Milwaukee,
Right.
the only team to compete with them right now, and to me, Boston. Other than those two, they can repeat, like Sean said. Like, I figured after I really watched them, I didn't watch them the first round, but the second round, I knew the champs was coming out the West.
Okay, so basically, they don't have any opponents in the West. Then is what you're saying. Nobody in the West can compete with them.
Not as currently constructed, no.
Okay, so now
I don't think so either. I agree with you on that.
So now, do you think our teams going to start going back to the small ball or going back to traditional ball, or do you think they're going to still keep on doing this 3-pointer? Because what I saw was a traditional butt whipping, and it was an old school butt whipping. We're going to whip you from inside out, outside in. That's what they did. They didn't rely on like Sean said, they did shoot 3-pointers, but they wasn't in love with the 3-pointers. They did shoot them, but it wasn't, we just going to keep on shooting them. Like with Boston, they're going to keep on shooting them, which makes no sense to me, but that's what they do. Other teams around the NBA, the only team I give a pass to is Golden State. That's literally their MO. But other teams, because it's fashionable for you to do it, everybody wants to do it. And I personally don't agree with it. But
so I don't think they're going to come back to the traditional form. And if they do, it's going to take some years. And the reason why I say that is no teams with real centers. Like you look at, we got Joker, we got Embiid. It's tough to name a center that can score with his back to the basket to where we're going to play.
So what about Karl Anthony Towns? You wouldn't put him in that category?
Yeah, I mean, he can score from the basket, but he'd rather shoot threes. So I'm not saying he don't exist. I'm just speaking of like it's a handful. Like I give Karl Anthony Towns and a few others.
So let me ask you this then, GPS. Are we just overlooking those players? You know what I'm saying? Because, when you're drafting players now, you want a player that can shoot. You know what I mean? This is how they've been looking. He can shoot, but we ain't looking at him. He's a down low post player, so we're not going to draft him, even though he's capable of doing that. And then it kind of makes him, not even good in this NBA because we're not going to give you the ball down low. So you're going to have to do something else. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a rebounder or a defensive player. Is it that, or you think that they just don't have players like that?
So too, I'm glad you mentioned that. And Dwight Howard spoke on that. He said that the reason the Lakers didn't retain him because they wanted a center that could shoot jump shots and stuff. And so to me, that's the dumbest thing in the world. But right now, the NBA is being ruled by analytics. And as long as they keep going these analytics, three's gonna be twos to them. No matter if it makes sense or not, no matter realize like the percentage is so much higher when you shoot, down low versus when you shoot these threes.
So let me hold on, but before you finish, Ron, real quick. In what world is threes going to outdo twos when you can get twos easier than you can get threes?
Because with the analytic crew, the threes accumulate more points faster. Like, make less shots. So, and with that being said, like, that's why they going with it. Because the threes, like, I even heard somebody say threes don't be twos. So if we exchange the baskets, and I didn't hit 3 threes, you know what I'm saying? You got to score 4 or 5 baskets to catch up with me or beat me.
But what happens when you start hitting them shots, though? That's my whole thing.
No, I agree with you. I mean, and I'm not disagreeing because I always thought it's stupid. I would play inside out, I think it free up more stuff for you. Like if you got somebody that's a scoring threat, now you got to double me. I think it creates more opportunities. I'm on board with y'all, but for some reason, the analytics are ruling the new NBA.
All right, man. So we both agree. Well, we all agree that Boston and Milwaukee the toughest teams for the Nuggets to face if they try to repeat next year. So we gonna throw out Golden State is done. You think?
I think so.
I'm not saying that they're done, but I don't see any team that could knock them off. Golden State at the style that they play with Draymond Green, he has to go. I don't think with them, because look, like I was saying, Aaron Gordon is the new Draymond Green. He's more athletic. He does everything that Draymond Green does, but at a better rate and better pace. You know what I'm saying? He defends better. He rebounds better. Only thing he probably doesn't do better is, pass. But
Right.
he's shooting better. He's defending. He's more athletic. He's doing the same thing Draymond's doing. Guarding your best defender, bring the ball up the court. He's doing everything like that. But if Draymond had a matchup with him, Draymond get eaten alive.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I disagree with that part. So I do. He's more athletic, you know, a little bit taller. I think Draymond's a better defender personally. Passer, I think he's a better rebounder as well.
You think Draymond's a better defender 1 through 5 than Aaron Gordon?
Yeah, that's the reason Golden State won. Without him, even though Steph and Clay has been cold, without him, they don't win a championship none of these years, even when they had KD.
So did you see what Anthony Davis was doing to Draymond Green?
I mean, like, he'd do that to anybody.
Nah, he wasn't. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't doing that to Denver.
No, but think about this. Like, so I don't think they took advantage of the mismatch, but Golden State is just too small. We got to realize Draymond Green only 6'6". So it's only so much he can do. He's been an undersized big for a long time.
So how's he better than Aaron Gordon at the defensive end? This is what I'm saying.
I'm just saying personally what I've seen, like he's been the defensive player of the year. Aaron Gordon ain't even been mentioned to me. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I guess I can see your point like it's today because I feel like Draymond is slowing down. But overall, like when period, I feel like Draymond's a better defender, personally.
All right, so we're gonna move on. So, do y'all agree or disagree with the suspension of John Morant? You think it should have been longer? Think it should have been shorter? You think they hit it right on the head? Because personally, I said it was gonna be 20 games. Because I know they got to make an impact on it, but they can't make too severe of an impact because, like what you were saying, Rome, if he's gone for the year, that's a lot of money that team is going to lose. A whole lot of money. You can't afford for them to miss a whole season. But I do think that 20 games was probably accurate. I don't have a problem with it.
Go ahead, GPS.
I'm saying, well, I'm biased. For one, he's from Memphis. I'm here, and they messing out my opportunities to see him. But in actuality, I do feel like it's too much, and I'm glad the players, association is going to appeal it. Because if you said the president that a person can get 25 games for not committing any crimes and just a moral code. I mean, like he's in his driveway. He wasn't doing anything wrong, just being stupid. And then on top of that, he's only 5 less games than a guy for beating his wife or girlfriend, whoever she was. Like, so if you said that president, that means they can do whatever they want to. And the NBA is a union. And the good thing I like about it, the players have power. And it ain't just no dictatorship where, hey, I make this and we roll with it. But I do think it was severe, 8 games. Even in the past, when he got suspended the first time, he didn't, once they found out he didn't commit anything, what was he suspended for? Besides,
right.
It's not a good look. Now, if companies were to drop him, different story. But as far as if it don't meet their policy, but to take 25 games and he didn't do anything wrong except for you got an image look back, I think it's excessive.
Do you think they're going to trade him?
Nah,
Okay.
Memphis.
Okay, go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw that in there. I wanted to see what he was going to say.
I have to agree with GPS. 25 is way too much for, like he said, something that is not a crime. I understand NBA has an image, but it's people out there doing a lot worse stuff to me than you uphold your image. You know what I'm saying? I think him fighting the younger dude was worse than him flashing the gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing happened for that. You know what I'm saying? So I just think he should probably got like 5 games. Not even that, because like I said, he didn't even do nothing.
Right.
But see,
saying?
the issue was he already got suspended for a couple of games, right? The first time. So in a sense, they kind of got to put an impact on it.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been suspended the first time for the weapon.
Right, exactly. I mean, now, Sean, you just mentioned though, if it's true about shooting that red beam against the Pacers, that's way worse than just brandishing a gun.
Right.
I do agree with you. So the thing though about it, so if I give you 25 games for a speeding ticket, ain't the same as you get 25, trying to rob somebody. It's got to be fair, and and that's.
Okay, I'll say this. So they're gonna appeal it. Let's just say he got to 25, right? They're gonna appeal it. They're gonna probably drop it down to 15, between 10 to 15 games, because they're gonna appeal it. They can't afford for him to miss that many games, because if he misses that many games, that literally could throw their whole season off. So I think they're gonna appeal it, win the appeal, and it's gonna be between 10 to 15 games. That's just what I think, because I don't think they can afford for him to be gone that long.
And so I think it checks both boxes. So it looks like the NBA came down hard. They knew the player association was going to appeal it, and you know the player union looked like they protected his players, and everybody's happy.
Right.
You came to hard. To me, this is crazy. Because you came down hard on this dude for flashing a gun. It's a gun. But Draymond knocked the nigga out, gave him a black eye. On video camera, everybody's seen it. And this is in one of y'all facilities on NBA grounds.
Right.
And y'all did nothing.
Right.
But you know why? Because Draymond is not a habitual line crosser, in the words of the great Dave Chappelle.
But he is.
Yes,
This is him.
No.
Draymond Green.
What I'm saying is, in that like fighting somebody, like who else is he for? He got into a lot of altercations, but he never fought anybody.
Altercations and fight. You just taking it one step line over. Habitual line crosser.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This dude, he should have been suspended. I don't think
I would
Josh
agree. I definitely agree with you on that one. He should have been.
This is crazy to me. I just don't see how you can put your hands on somebody and nothing happens.
Yeah, but y'all thought it was crazy when I said they weren't gonna do nothing.
Yeah,
but like so, I do agree.
They crazy.
And I'm just kind of like I know Kobe was just accused, but when he that he didn't get suspended, he played the whole season off and on. Like I don't understand how anything that doesn't have to do with the NBA, where I do know they have a moral clause, but they shouldn't be able to invade your private life like that.
But see the thing. But
you didn't get it. Now, if you go to jail, if he went to jail or something, then I can understand why the NBA has a right to suspend him for doing something wrong.
But you made your private life public, though. That's the thing that's about it. It's because think about it. If I'm not at your house, I don't know what you're doing at your house. But if there's a camera involved at your house, whatever you were doing private became public because I'm viewing what you're doing at your house now. That's why I think that's why it became such a big issue. Even though it's private, and because it's his own personal space, once that camera got involved and the world could see it, that's when it became public. So because like I say, he can do all of that stuff he want to do as long as there's no cameras around. Nobody's gonna ever know. But the minute that camera's involved, that's when the whole story changes. Think about it, the Ray Rice incident. Everybody was like, man, it can't be that bad. Until you see him clock that girl. Everybody was like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't expect the man not to ever play football again. But once you saw the video of it, it looked 10 times worse than what you heard. That's what I'm saying. The video make everything worse. Whatever it may be, it's gonna make it worse than what it is.
So I agree with you on that, Don. But like say this, and I'm just using drinking an example, right? Mm-hmm. So if I get on Instagram and I'm drunk, now if I say fuck, somebody, fuck NBA commissioner, fuck all that, cool, I get it. But if I'm just on drunk acting a fool, it's nothing that illegal about drinking. Everything's legal. But my partner put me on camera. You telling me I could be suspended just because I'm drunk and been drinking and been doing something legal, and I'm showing it?
Remember,
where does it stop? If I allow this, then where's the threshold where it's gonna stop?
So remember, Roy Tarpley. I don't know if you remember him. He got kicked out of the league for drinking because he kept drinking too much. Just you know what I'm saying? Like I agree with what you're saying. But Roy Tarpley literally got kicked out of the NBA for drinking too much. They was like, nah, he got to go. Like, he got suspended for like a year, I think, for a whole NBA season for drinking.
But that is because it's affecting his gameplay. Like, this is the off season. He drinking the off.
But it shouldn't matter, though, because what I'm saying is it still happened. Like, he still got suspended for a whole year for drinking. Like, think about that logically.
But it wasn't for drinking. It's because what he like missing practices. Like not showing up for games, not playing. Due
to what? Due to what, bro? Him drinking.
But I'm saying the drinking was perfected. Messing with his performance, and so I that makes more sense. You get what I'm saying, Sean? Like
kind of, but not really, because I seen a lot of people who ain't perform on the court. There ain't shit happen to them. I ain't gonna start naming people, but hey, it's off the court shit that was fucking with him. So I
Yeah.
do know what you're saying, though.
But now if he drinking and he can't perform, ain't showing up, shooting their balls and stuff, I get it. But you still gotta, we all humans. You still gotta be able to live a life, and if and enjoy yourself. Not just because you got money, you shouldn't be able to.
I don't
23 years.
I don't think it's that. I think it's you also have to protect the image of the NBA. That's what it boils down to. And because of what's happening around the world and the amount of people getting killed by guns and stuff like that, it impacts the NBA because now they're gonna be like, well, you got players just running around and showing off guns and making it look cool, and you got people being killed over guns. Now, granted, it's two different things, but they can correlate the same thing. I mean, they can correlate to be the same thing. That's why I think they tried to come down on him that hard, because of the fact that who he is, what he can do for the NBA, and how it's going to affect the bottom line from the NBA because of what he's doing to the NBA. Just my personal opinion.
Right. No, I'm not. I do get that part, but I just think it's got to be a precedent, like of a standard. Like it has to be something there. They're gonna have a job rule probably in a little while.
Oh, trust me, don't worry about it. He gonna have one of them handlers like who was that had one? They're watching him everywhere he went to make sure he do nothing wrong. Who was
Probably,
that?
I would
Melo?
think one of them.
You said Melo?
He kind of had one. The motherfuckers was watching his ass.
Yeah, that's what. All right. That's so. I've been reading this a lot lately, and I'm still trying to figure my mind around this one. So, does Kyrie or James Harden make sense in Phoenix? Either or both?
Don't think so. Go ahead, Sean. I'll let you go first.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't see James Harden working out there because, I mean, these players are getting older. I mean, it's time for, younger players start coming in and doing their thing. I know some of y'all may not think so, but James Harden, I think he's past his prime. He's a good role player now, but he's not no starter in my eyes. I want to have him starting my team. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's not good, but I see a lot more players that could fit his role and play better than him, and probably get him for a lot cheaper too. And even like KD, he's good, but he ain't shown me nothing lately. So he's older, and is just another year older too. I mean, I wouldn't have traded my young pieces for a KD, especially when I got a young Devin Booker, and KD got probably another 1 or 2 years left, and I don't think y'all went in the ring another 1 or 2 years. Then he gone. And y'all could have had these young pieces still left. So I'm going to say no to both. And Kyrie, he ain't did nothing. He ain't really been playing. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good talent, but you got to be on the court to be a good talent. And you ain't been on the court in the last, 5 or 6 years.
So for me, I want to add one to the list. Like Bradley Beal, I've seen him being mentioned going to Phoenix as well. I don't think none of those are a good fit, because to me, you don't need more scoring. You need a facilitator. You do need a scoring threat. And as Sean say, like, the only person out of those three that I could see working would be James Harden, because Sean, like you say, he's not what he used to be. But as you see in the playoffs, he can still drop 40 on you if given the opportunity. But he's more of a facilitator than the rest of those guys. And so I think that Phoenix needs that. But another point you made, made me think about it, you can get somebody a lot cheaper than James Harden to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you, but none of them fit. But if I had to pick one, it'd be James Harden if I'm talking about star power. But the rest of them, I think they need the ball. Like, so Bradley Beal will go from a 1 option to a 3. And then I just don't see how that working. Kyrie, he's a 2 option. So he'll go from a 2 to a 3rd option as well. I just don't see how he'll fit. I don't know what else like they bring to the table besides scoring.
I agree.
Yeah, I think Harden will probably be the better out of the fits. Because, like you said, he can get them the ball. But the only issue is that how much of that will rely all on Booker when the playoffs started. You know what I'm saying? Because time from previous years what James Harden has done in the playoffs. And so you kind of want him to be an aggressive Harden when you got KD and Booker out there. But because he hasn't been, it's almost like
yeah, they still need that third scorer.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, for me though, and I know Harden has disappeared, but he's disappeared as a number 1 option, not as a number 3. And you take that pressure off him. I'll take him as a good third option any day. Like, is he at his prime? I believe so. I think ever since he left Houston, he ain't been the same. But as a third option, I would take my chances. But he needs to be in a system where a coach ain't just going to let him dribble all day. He needs something like you got to come up off the ball. You got to go ahead and make a move. And I ain't saying 7 seconds or less like a D'Antoni, but where he can't just sit and dribble all day. And the other players just stand around. I think that's a detriment to a lot of players today. A lot of states so successful like Denver. You don't consider there passing, people cutting and stuff, whereas other teams is so much one-on-one ball and ISO.
I don't know. Lately, I haven't seen James play like that. I know in the past in Phoenix, that's all he did. But since he's been in Philly, I've seen him, he's been, like you're saying, a facilitator. You know what I'm saying? He get to the hole, kick it out, or do what he needs to do. He's not really sitting on it unless the main option's out the game. You know what I'm saying? Then it's time for him. That's the only time I really see him sitting on a ball and stuff like that. So, yeah, I guess I wouldn't still have him as my option because to me, that ain't going to help Phoenix. Phoenix need a lot more than a James Harden. So, I don't know. I will save some money, and I don't know. Phoenix need a lot of help to me.
So would you trade Chris Paul then? Like let's just say, for example, who needs a point? Like to the Lakers, right? Would you trade Chris Paul to the Lakers and you could get back like Lonnie Walker and who else they got on the bench? Like Lonnie Walker and somebody else. Would you make that trade?
For who?
For like Lonnie Walker. I'm trying to think who else is on the bench.
I ain't trading. The Lakers ain't got nobody I want either. I mean, I don't know. Right now, to me, yeah, Chris Paul needs to go. He's past his prime too. He's always injured. We see what happens every year. He's done. He needs to go.
Right.
I would trade Kevin Durant for younger pieces. Get into this draft. Get me some younger pieces and do something else. To me, this Kevin Durant and James and Booker ain't gonna work because you ain't gonna fill enough people around them. You know what I'm saying? Your bench is depleted. I don't know if y'all going to get some free agents, and the free agents, they're just going to be like role players. You need scorers. You need some help. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all two putting up 70, that's it. That's all y'all can get is 70. Maybe 90 from, 2 other people, but y'all need a lot of help. And I just think they depleted themselves too much because those 2 pieces y'all gave away hurt.
So with that done, Sean, there are 2 pieces that you say they gave away, Bridges and the other cat. I know they gave away the guy that wasn't playing, Crowder. He went to Houston, to Milwaukee, and he still wasn't playing there. So they really only gave up 2 for 2. I think once they decided to bring on KD, they gave up the young. That rebuild is over. They can't go young. Yeah, because they could have kept Miles and kept going. So that wasn't what they wanted. So if you trade KD, then you get rid of Booker too because he's not going to be there anymore. So they gotta be there and done.
You gotta get rid of KD and CP3 as a package. You can go for Dame and somebody else. You need a superstar. That ain't gonna work. This is almost like having Jason Tatum and Brown. Y'all just basically the same 2 people right here doing the same thing. Pull up jumpers.
Yeah.
So but I don't think you want to go back if you Phoenix though. So for example, right? You made the trade. You gave away all your young pieces to get Durant, right? So it wouldn't make sense for you to do it over again to trade Durant to get young again when you were just young. That's what I think they're going to do.
Yeah, you need a young talent. You need like Dame Simons or someone like that. You need a good vet like Dame and a good young person like Simons that you could bring in. He's going to give you 20, 25. He's doing it down in Portland. You know what I'm saying? But you need someone like that, a young talent, and then a good vet too because CP3 is done, and like I said, KD, you can still get something for these pieces, or get you in a draft or some shit like that. But in all these, I don't know, they in trouble. Put it that way.
I think for me personally, I think the issue is we don't look at the other side. Like for one, CP3, he's not getting traded. He's getting waived, and the reason why I think he's owed like 30-something million. But if they cut him out a certain time, he's only due 15. So what they're going to do is they're not trading him unless it's like to San Antonio where San Antonio is going to get draft picks and they cut him, They're just throwing the salary in. They're gonna get a free draft pick. That's the only way a team's gonna pick up CP3. But no team is picking him up to keep him, because they're not gonna take on 35 million, the extra 20 million, whatever it is, to pay him. So he's not being traded to play there. He's being traded so he can go be a free agent for somebody else.
Right.
But the young talent, Sean, when you talk about too, is there any talent that's going to be better than Bridges as you can get out there for KD? I personally don't think so. I think Phoenix has enough. I think the issue is they got to get rid of Aiden. Now CP3 is going to be gone. You get rid of Aiden and you get some good pieces with him. I think that's the starting foundation. You can get like what he do, rebound, block shots. I always talk about Howard. I like him. Last year we talked about Howard, like just the rebound and stuff. I'm not saying scoring because they ain't need score. They need defenders. They need role players. Aiden want the ball is part of the problem why they having issues.
They should have never traded for KD.
I
would agree. I agree with
anybody
that.
They go for KD. Any GM that had a chance to trade for him, he didn't have no list.
And look what y'all looking at what this dude did back then. This ain't the same dude. And then you got this young dude that's doing the same numbers that's KD's doing. He ain't doing no different. So you traded an older person for a young person doing the same thing. He went over there and killed just the same thing that KD was doing in Phoenix. You just swapped a younger for an older player. That's all you did. And gave away another younger talent.
I don't know. I mean, I think KD's game.
I'm talking about the numbers. Look at the numbers.
Yeah, but I think it is more deeper than the numbers, personally. Because like none of
they
the
both
players.
sitting at home.
Yeah, but think about this though. All the players, like the people on the team, none of them was reluctant or mad that they traded for KD. So these players, know that it was a good move. Even the guy Bridges, he said if I was in their position, I would trade for KD too, and that's the player that got traded. So I don't personally think KD's game going down here because he's not athletic, and he is going to position because he's a shooter, and the jump shot is the last thing to go. So I think he's good for more than a couple years personally.
I ain't saying it's going downhill, but you're putting up the same numbers as Bridges doing it. Bridges is more athletic, younger than you, and he's basically doing the same thing. He got more years than you, and you're proven to be injury prone.
Now,
Come over here, you hurt. Like I'm trading for a hurt person again.
But see, I will give you that. But KD provides spacing too that Bridges can't. He's not the shooter that he is, but athletic. I give you everything else, but I think KD, I would double him before I would Bridges. Consistent.
So look at their numbers trade, and look at Bridges shooting and KD shooting.
But so one went from a number one option to a number two option though. You got to look at that as well.
But what are you bringing KD in there for? Number two option?
I mean, but he had to transition. I think this season gonna tell a whole lot. I think it's gonna be much better, and I think Phoenix will be a contender as long as they make the right pieces.
So what piece? That's what I'm asking you. So what piece do you think they need? If they don't need Harden and they don't need Kyrie, what's the other piece that you think they need then? And I know you said trade Ayton, but you gotta. If you the GM, what pieces you putting in there?
Okay, so for me, like Denver is well constructed, meaning they got players that play roles, like and they doing it, for a lot of money.
Right.
Like Sean, the young talent coming in, they can do it, not get paid as much. So for me, I'm getting rid of Aiden and his fat contract. I'm bringing in a Howard type player, somebody to that magnitude that play defense. I don't need you to score. We got two scores. I do need a threat though, like where I can lob you the ball where you're not a liability. I need a point guard to facilitate, a CP3 that's injury free though. I won't go after players like that, and then they need a bench. The bench is really their problem. They got enough scoring up front. They need a bench. So whether it's, I just would roll for a bench and a deeper bench because really we make a big deal about benches or whatever. In the team, the coaches stop playing, but 8 players in the playoffs, and I don't know what the hell that's about.
I don't get that either.
12 deep, and you motherfuckers only gonna play 8 people. So when we get to the nitty gritty of it, we only need 8 people.
Yeah, I don't get that. All right, so
they
now we
go
go.
Fred VanVleet.
I think he's gonna cost them too much.
I think so too, because they say he commanded up to 30 mil.
Right.
You don't think he worth it?
I
don't think he's worth 30 million. No, not 30 mil.
Option.
So
Yeah.
as what?
Not be a third option.
So, but So who you gonna get as a third option?
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't pay him $30 million.
Well, not just him, but you can't afford to pay your third option $30 million with the way they go on with this new collective bargaining agreement, and still have a bench. So I wouldn't pay my third. I think it's good, solid. Like they don't need a Flint, somebody good like a Brogdon. I don't know what his contract look like, but
hold on, man. We gonna get into that. Hold on.
Actually, who you could get?
Yeah, we gonna get into that. All right, so now we got the Miami Heat. They just lost to Denver in the playoffs. Do you think they should go after Dame or Bradley Beal or neither?
I've been forced this way.
They should go after both of them motherfuckers. If you ask me.
Stop, man. Watch out. I agree. I
agree too.
But Miami need the scoring. And if they had Lillard to stretch the floor,
You see me?
a whole different team. I like Bradley Beal, but he's been injured a lot here lately. I like his game. I probably be a little bit more biased to Lillard if I'm trying to win now, but Bradley's a little bit younger, so he's more, he got a few more years left in the tank. So, I pick up that, but they got to be willing to trade him first.
I agree.
I saw that they're working with they're only working with Miami and somebody else, man. Phoenix. So I don't see how he fits in Phoenix personally. So Miami would be my choice, but I did read as well that Lillard, Miami preferred option would be Lillard first.
Yeah. I think, like you said, I would go for both of them. Talk to them, see what y'all can do to try to get both of them. If they need to cut off some money to get both of them, do it. Because that's the only way, to me, y'all going to be a contender over there. Because even one of them, you still not that good. Because me, personally, Bam's okay. He ain't he's okay. He just okay.
I do think
Jimmy, he's okay too. He good, but he ain't I don't know. They need help.
Scoring.
Like you said, you score, pure scorer.
Yeah.
So
and see too, Sean, I'm glad you mentioned Bam. I think when they faced like Denver, it showed Miami he too little. Like he need to be playing the 4. When they came to Denver, he really needs to be playing the 4, not the 5. He was just too little for him. And I think that's a need that need to be addressed. Dillard or Bradley Beal can help him. I don't know if it puts him over the top. Definitely helps, but it's a step in the right direction because they're scoring and how they do it and how they go in droughts is a huge problem. And I think either one of those players can fill that void.
I agree.
I say get both of them if you
Me
can.
Too. I agree.
As long as y'all keep Jimmy and Bam, y'all get rid of everybody else.
Right.
To me.
Right.
Yeah. Because I think if you can provide enough scoring power, you can get out of the East. Now, in the West, you're going to have to do something about, but I think you get provide enough scoring power, I think you can get out the East with no problem.
Right.
And those two definitely going – I don't think they're going to get both, though. I think they're going to get either one or the other. I don't think they get both, though.
Well, Dame having requested a trade, and Portland had, supposedly they rebuilding around him, which is dumb as hell to me. I ain't going to lie. And then, Sean, now that I thought about that, like when you said, like, trade KD to Portland. It wouldn't make sense for Portland.
No, I'm saying traded to Portland. I'm just saying they need like a Dame.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's what they need.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, I misheard you. Yeah, but because to me, the trade has to make sense for both teams. And most of these trades are lopsided. They never make sense for the other team.
Mm-hmm. Someone always pulls it off. It's always...
Yeah, I hold on. The draft is when next week, right?
It's Thursday, right?
Okay, this week. So the draft is this week. So I can promise you, it's going to be 2 major moves either done by draft day or leading up to draft day. It's going to be 2 major moves done, and one of them is going to be Miami, I believe, and I think the other one is going to be Phoenix. Oh, matter of fact, I'm glad you brought this up. I think what's really going to be the trade is going to be one of these Pelicans going to be gone, either Zion or Brandon Ingram. Which one of y'all think is going to be gone?
So for me, if I'm the team on the opposite end, I don't want Zion. I want Brandon Ingram. If I had to pick between the two, Zion hasn't proven he can be healthy. He stay overweight, and then with the slew of the problems he's doing now, I wouldn't even want the headache personally. I would take BI a proven scorer now. If Zion can get his stuff together, obviously you go with the young talent. But if we're going from what we see today, BI would be my choice for me.
Yeah. It really depends where they're going and what coach is getting them. You know what I'm saying? Because that determines a lot. Like, not saying he's going to San Antonio, but if he's under a coach like Popovich, Zion, he ain't going to be overweight coming. I don't think Pop is going to put up for nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Before you even get over here, we're going to have a talk. So I just really think it's the coaching situation. I don't know too many coaches that are going to put him in this place to have him healthy. So I have to say Brandon Ingram too. But Zion healthy and ready to go. I mean, damn. What the question is, when is he going to be that? So Ingram.
Yeah.
I don't think that honestly, I think this is going to be a habit of his throughout his career. I think it's going to be something that's going to be consistent. That's what I don't think that it's going to be a situation. Got distracted. I don't think it's going to be a situation where they I don't know. I don't think Zion is going to be the answer. I think Zion is the problem. That's why I said I would have never signed him to that contract, because why would I give up or give you all of that money if you haven't proven to be healthy? You can't stay on the court and you're not doing anything to change it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was like, oh, we put this in there, we put that in there. I don't know the last time y'all seen him, but he looked pretty much the same. Right. He don't look like he lost any weight to me, but again, that's just my opinion. And I would keep BI. Now the problem is, what am I keeping BI for? Like, what's our end game at this point as the Pelicans? What are we trying to do? That's why I would be like, hey, if I'm gonna trade BI or not. But it depends on the situation. And so if I'm in the Pelicans, prime example, if I'm in the Pelicans and Charlotte is gonna give me that 2 pick for Brandon Ingram, and like 3 other players, it's a possibility I pull that trigger if I'm Charlotte to get those 3 players to come there. So I think it's going to depend on the situation and what you're going to trade for Brandon Ingram.
Yeah. So I ain't gonna lie, Sean. Like, so to me, if you got to motivate a player to get healthy, and you're in the NBA making all this money, and that's something you got to require as a problem in the first place. Now, I've heard, I know he got a clause in his contract that he can't be over a certain weight. They did put that stipulation in. But now, when you talk about culture, you did mention Greg Pops, where I agree he ain't gonna go for that BS. But Miami doesn't. I've heard they had this they very strict. You can't be a certain body fat. I've heard so many people talk about that. So Miami would be a great place for him. Like, if he would have landed there. Now, will Miami trade him there for what they have? I'm not sure. But if we're conditioning, yeah, definitely. But now Don too, like we're going off of what we've seen. But the few little handful of snippet games we got to see with Zion, if he healthy, it's a no-brainer. You trade for him any day of the week. But you just don't get from him. Kind of like with Anthony Davis.
He kind of needs probably a good vet. But thinking about it, Phoenix. He needs to go to Phoenix. That's who they need. A good power, low post player like that who run the floor with you guys. He don't demand the ball for nothing. He gonna get you them points too, because he all hustle, blocking shots, rebound. He gonna get you the points. We see him average like 27, just not even really, having no plays called for him.
Right.
Then you got 2 scorers, who could bring the ball up. Then you don't really need that facilitator no more, like a CP3 to get, you know what I'm saying? Because Zion is going to be running with y'all and just getting rebounds and stuff like that. So you don't really need you could set offense, but it ain't like if you had, CP3, you lose him once you got a player like Zion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but think how much opening is for him with KD and Booker if that were to happen. I don't think that trade makes sense for Phoenix personally, but I do get what you're saying. I just wish he'd get healthy, man, because if he was healthy, we talking a whole nother conversation. He wouldn't even be on the trading block in the first place.
That's true.
Yeah, but in the words of the great GPS, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Like, it is, yeah. I mean, nobody can question his talent on the court, but it's the fact that he's not on the court that's the problem. Like, you literally paying this man but you paying him to be at home, essentially. because you're giving him this money. He out here tricking it off, and you just like, yo, what do you like? Come on, player, like you can't be out here like this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't have paid him. I would have took my chances and
keep going out. I don't know what it's about. Hey, but Sean, why he? I don't know if he can hear us when he be going out. It happened a couple times on my end. I don't know about yours.
Yeah.
So when he mentioned this Zion and talk about the trick, and that made me think about something. To me, what Zion did was way worse than what Ja did. To me, from my perspective, you not a porn star. You pay him over $100K a month. I mean, like, so with that being said, it's on social media. With the president that's being set, can Zion be suspended for this too?
I mean, basically, yeah. I don't see why he couldn't be, because you know what I'm saying, it's the image.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's an image, so that's a bad look for the league. Don, were you able to hear us?
no, I didn't. This internet signal was a little floppy, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, when you brought up Zion and his tricking, I feel like that's worse than what Ja did personally. He doing the strippers, porn stars, all this stupid stuff. He paying $100K a month, and with that being his personal, now that it's being brought to air, with what we're saying about Ja, is it right for them to suspend him for that too?
I mean, they could if they wanted to go that route.
It's making it look bad. It's not good for the
They
brand.
could. Yeah, they could. Honestly, it's just a matter of what's going to be your foundation for the suspension. Like you had to have some type
It's
of
not
foundation for the suspension. So, like, what are you going to suspend him for?
He didn't violate any rules like Ja, but it's not a good look for the brand, like they said. So technically, they're both the same. You got a bad image to the league. You out there, and I think it's way worse. He should get way worse. I mean, just for the stupidity alone.
Bro, you got no argument with me for that. Like,
Neither.
I ain't never in my life, like, I've done dumb things before. I ain't never did nothing that dumb before.
Brother,
I'm sorry. Like,
And the fantasy of a porn star, I don't know if I could personally even hit him, but if you strap up, but then on top of that, you a superstar pending, and you paying for stuff that they'll pay you to get. They want to be in your presence. Man, you could be in the crowd picking out whoever you want. I'll have my boys, if I was on that, man, look, y'all go get them. We finna have a ball tonight. But if you paying $100K, and I can go into any arena, and just the fact that you want to be around $1 million, I can get whoever I want. And you rather pay for it. Makes no sense to me, man.
It's your guy.
yeah, it's definitely somebody's guy. So this one also popped up under the radar, but I don't know if y'all have seen this one yet. Should the Celtics trade for Brogdon?
Should the Celtics trade him?
Yeah, that's the word on the curb. Like, it's a possibility he could be gone. And they say he could go to Phoenix. Personally, I don't want him to go. Huh?
Unless they getting Aiden back. But for
There
who?
won't be
You're gonna have to, yeah, I'm about to say you're gonna have to give up somebody else for him.
But I'm saying, who the Phoenix got the trade?
I'm saying if you want,
I don't know if Phoenix got anybody. Torrey Craig?
Right. I mean, I wouldn't want him either. I mean, I don't, none of that, like I say, the trade, like somewhere Phoenix, that makes no sense to me. Why would you give them up for? I mean, you know, Phoenix don't have nothing I want. You're not giving up Booker, KD. I wouldn't want Aiden. Well, Aiden, like, he really, you know, would I pay him as a third option? And he can't play with Booker and KD right now. From Boston's standpoint, that makes no sense to me. So I don't want him. I don't know who else you got that I would want. And Brogdon wasn't the problem. Now he got injured.
Right.
the season,
You know?
yeah,
Well, he what y'all needed.
that's why I said I personally I wouldn't trade him. He wasn't the problem
Me either.
at all. Like I would keep him. Like if I had to get rid of somebody, it would probably be like Derek White. But I still gotta.
He was the reason y'all did something. He killed. He might be y'all best player. He was definitely one of the most consistent.
Okay, so who would you if you had to get rid of somebody off the team, who would it be then?
I don't know, but you're not heading in the right direction if you get rid of White.
But I'm saying if you dangling the bait, you got had something out there.
Brown.
I mean, honestly, like the Celtics got enough on their roster to win. Like I don't,
I would agree with you, Sean. I don't think they do either.
So
It's something missing. Yeah, I
They
don't know
proved
what
it.
it
2
is.
years straight, they proved it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's something missing.
So this year we Mike can blame coaching to a degree. I did see what you talking about with dude left hand, and then I read some more and I found out he was injured. So if he's been that way his whole career, that's a different story. Like you say, I say the same thing about James Harden. There's no way you should be killing the way you do, and you can barely use your right hand. But it's worked for him. I don't know what's up with this thing. I just heard he got injured. But if he's always been that way, I get it. I don't think you can break up. I read this article today and it made sense. He said just about every GM in the league would trade their roster for Boston roster straight up. And I believe that's true. You take Denver out the bunch, a handful of teams, who wouldn't want their roster? As is.
What's the difference? We losing. So losing to me. So if I got a good roster losing or a bad roster losing, we losing. So, I like Brown. He got to go. Done been saying it. He got to go. They got to get somebody to replace him. I don't know who it is, but he done said it. It's ran its course. This dude has got to go.
So look, I guess this is the crazy part, right? So when the article is also mentioned that that all the GMs on the other teams will hope that Boston breaks up the team because it benefits them. But I don't know how long they've been together, but they've made some deep runs as a young core. So you 6 years. It took Jordan 7, took LeBron 7 to get in. They're ahead of the curve. But we in the microwave society where we want things fast. These cats are still young. I think we're forgetting that.
So let me ask you this. Are they getting any better?
Thank you. That's the question.
So, I don't, because they're too inconsistent. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna, but I just don't see who you can get if you trade Brown. Like, this is the thing. It has to make sense. So, if you trade Brown, who are we getting in return? That's going to be better.
You don't have to be better than Brown.
You gotta be
That's
better
the misconception. No, listen. You don't have to be better than Brown. He just has to be able to make a contribution similar to what Brown is making. Like, he don't have to score 20-something points a night, 25, 30 points a night. Because those are fluff numbers if you can't do that when it counts. I would rather you do that when it counted than you have these terrible numbers during the season. Because in my opinion, the playoffs are what matter the most. Because if you can get on the roll in the playoffs and you got a good situation going, it's going to keep on pushing you to the next level. But if the cats ain't showing up, they're supposed to be showing up in the playoffs, what good is a 62 and something record if you ain't doing nothing in the playoffs? If you ain't get to the finals in the playoffs, what good is having the first, second seed if you don't get to the finals?
And so I agree with you from their perspective, but to me, they are a smaller version of Jordan Pippen, not to that magnitude, but that's what I see them as.
Right, I see what you're saying.
And you take away both of them.
One could be dope, and one could be pretty good.
Yeah, and so, but like you take away, like I'm sure you take away their length, right? In Boston, to me, they it's a step back.
It is a step back depending on the player you get in return for Brown.
So they need to get, like when Phoenix traded for KD and New Jersey got 2 quality players. That's what Boston needs to get back, because everybody think Phoenix got the best deal with getting KD, and to me, I think New Jersey got the better deal out of it. They got 2 young talents that are, one who's putting up the same numbers as KD, and then you got another dude that's coming off the bench that is, giving you 17 and is capable of being a starter, giving you more now. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what they need. 2 quality players that's coming up in their prime that we like, damn, we didn't even know they had this in them.
So I just thought about some good pieces I would go for if I was Boston or even an incoming team. Would you do Dame Lillard for Jaylen Brown and another piece?
But But it has to be Dame and somebody else. It's still got to be two players.
Yeah,
But-
it's gonna
It has to be like Dame and Jeremy Grant, something like that. It has to be another.
But Dame a bigger name than Jalen, so technically Boston got to give up more for Dame than Portland got to give up for.
That's what I don't think. That's what I don't think Boston would do it.
Dame
Right.
older too, though.
Yeah,
Right. And then what about Bradley Beal? That's another name. At least you get a quality player coming back. If you watching it, at least that makes sense. Now I got a young player that's talented coming in, so it makes sense for both teams. Boston, I'm still in win now mode. Would you do Bradley Beal then?
I'll take Kristaps Porzingis and Kyle Kuzma before I take Bill.
well, I've been screaming Bill for the last couple of years, so I'm partial to that. I would take Bill. I know what I'm getting in Bill every single night. But I do like Kuzma, huh?
Injury prone.
Right.
I mean, it happens. You know what I'm saying? Nothing you really could do about it. You just hope that ain't the year that he get hurt. But I feel like if he played on a better team, I don't think he would be hurt as much. I think he's using the injury as a reason for him not to play as much. And you know what I'm saying? Think about it. Why am I going to push it all the way to the limit every single night if I know we terrible? Like it doesn't make sense to me. That's why I say if he goes to a better situation, I promise you gonna really see how good this dude really is if he go to a better situation. But you wasting his life, he wasting his talent in Washington. Like no good player come here has left it the same way. Why do you think Durant didn't want to come here?
Yeah. But so Don, you get on a point. So not only is he's doing that, but also too, if he on a better team, he has a lesser load, so he's not putting so much stress on his body.
Right.
So that would help as well. I do think Bradley Beal will be a good fit there. If I'm gonna get rid of Brown, at least I get something decent in return. But I'm with you, Sean. So far, he's been injury prone though. So I would take that into consideration. Just like even when the Lakers got AD, I'm like, yeah, he's a talent, but we know he's gonna be injured. You know what I'm saying? So if looking at it from that perspective, him going to a better team hasn't helped AD.
Yeah, I just think Bill's just a little bit of an upgrade to Brown, and not too much because Brown's still younger. But Bill is good and a lot better to me, but I'll still rather take a younger like Kuzma because he's proven that he can step up, but he don't have to be the number one option. And if y'all get Kristaps Porzingis, man,
I would agree with you on Porzingis. I don't know what they would have to do to get him, but I do agree with. I do like Porzingis. I think he would be a good pick.
that's
But
what y'all need.
Yeah, but they would have to give up. They would have to give up a lot for that.
That's who Miami need.
Yeah,
Big person like that and have Bam play the four.
Yeah, because he gonna pull that center out, and Bam can go to work all day long. Because Porzingis ain't getting in that post. He don't want that work down there.
Right.
But that's the way he's played his entire NBA career. So I wouldn't expect him to be any different.
Well, he got his block game. He can shoot that little baseline 15-footer block game, but he ain't banging like you saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, man.
It could. I think this next week is going to be real interesting.
You're
going to see what teams are going to really try to do what. The draft is coming up. Player movement is going to be at an all-time high. It's going to be interesting. And the thing is, everybody has to make the right move. Every team has to make the right move because if you don't, that's going to hurt your franchise for some time. And I don't feel like, especially with that Dame move, that Bill move, Kyrie move, like all of these are significant moves. And the team that don't make that move or if they make the wrong move, it's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
So,
I know I'm excited to see OKC. I just
been
want
calling
to see with these picks, Chet coming back. I just like that young, talented team. I can't wait to see them. Man.
I think, you know, the craziest thing is how are they going to put it all together? That's what I want to know is how they're going to put it all together because that roster is talented from top to bottom and they're young, like really young.
About to be crazy.
Yeah, because they hit on a lot of draft picks, a lot.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to the draft.
Yeah, it's going to be some hurt feelings. Believe that. So, but all right, my guy, it was good. We made it through. All right, man. You take care, brother.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit you up. We chat about this.
Okay.
So we can hook it up.
All right.
All right, boy.